What's going on, everyone? This is Fighting Words with Kevin Shells. I'm Shells.
Kev, 8 Count Sports was good, bro.
Yes, sir. What's going on, brother, man?
Oh, man. A whole lot going on, man.
A whole lot going on, man.
You know
best of both worlds. I mean,
yeah.
Best of one world and pretty good on the other.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah. This is the weekend of weekends if you're a fight fan, straight up and down.
Right. Especially if you're a boxing fan.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's start with that one.
Few and far between.
Few and far. Let's start with that one. Let's start with the Crawford versus Spence taking place in Las Vegas this weekend,
man.
bro.
This is we've waited almost, man. Seemingly, man. This has been the next after we had to wait a decade for Floyd and Pacquiao. This is the next most anticipated fight. We had to wait about maybe 5 to 6 years for this.
But here's the significance.
Yeah.
Pacquiao and Mayweather happened. That fight happened a decade later than it should have happened. You know what I'm saying? At least this fight's happening when it's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
I could have sworn Dana White made this one too. Let me.
Nah, I gotta give Dana props. If Dana was in charge, this would have happened like about 5 years ago.
Right. Hey.
This is like, but
they're in their prime.
Yeah, they're still in their prime.
And this fight has to happen, and it happened now. There's no all other points have been exhausted. It's nothing else. There's nothing else for them to do.
Exactly. Well,
let's put it all on the line.
Spence, I think after this, there's still more for the both of them to do. But I mean, this is their career.
Create a defining moment.
Exactly.
Create a defining moment.
This is it, man. So what you think of the fight? I mean, the matchup so far. What's your analysis, breakdown, prediction?
Man, this is. Well, it's technicality on both sides.
Right.
But so I'm not gonna say technicality as a defining characteristic on either one that gives them an advantage over the other. But this is strength and power on one side versus that maverick adaptation AI. I'm gonna figure you out eventually on the other side. What I mean by that is the strength is on Spence's. The strength and size is on Spence's side. He's the natural welterweight, and you got this dude on the other side, my man Crawford, who went up a couple divisions, but he's like, I'm trying to describe him. It's like watching him box. It's like watching Steph Curry hit 3-pointers. Like, how the fuck is he doing this? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The switches, the knockout power from a man his size just by breaking you down. It's this fight is so. It's like what happens when an unstoppable force meets an unmovable object, bro.
Yeah.
The unstoppable force is Crawford, and the unmovable force is Spence. Like, what's gonna happen?
Something gotta give.
Somebody old gotta
go.
Somebody old gotta go. Someone has to go, and
I think it's a well anticipated fight, bro. You're right. When you say coin flip, you're right. I go back and forth. I've been going back and forth for this is every boxing fan's fantasy. I've been going back and forth about it. But I'm gonna give my prediction. You know what I'm saying? Keep it straight up from the jump,
straight to the point.
Spence is a great fighter, bro.
Okay.
And I think every era has a great fighter. And then in a lot of eras you get 2, maybe even 3, and then they figure it out and then it comes to 1. You know, you think back to the Sugar Ray Leonard era when they had the 4 Kings, Hagler, Hearns, all of that. It comes down to 1 at the end of the day. The difference is, as Earl Spence is a great fighter. A great fighter.
Yes.
But I feel that Terrence Crawford is a special fighter. Like you get a guy that comes around once every so often. Like, you get the great fighter for every era, but you get in maybe, like, you might skip her. You get a guy that's just ahead of the pack. Like is doing things that other guys aren't really doing. And as good as Spence is, and Spence might win the fight, bro. I could be dead wrong on it. Crawford's ability to make adjustments, bro. That's that Mayweather. That's that like it's so, even the greatest fighters, you talk about De La Hoya, like he didn't really have that, like to make adjustments on the fly, like not go to a corner, not between fights, not even between rounds, like as the fight is going on, there's an adjustment made, and the other and not just an adjustment, an effective adjustment, like the correct adjustment. He's not just, you know what I mean, throwing paint on the wall, see what sticks, like the adjustment that with all of a sudden he's throwing uppercuts and the uppercut land and is trouble. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think Spence's thing is his adjustment is always to turn up. Like Spence will start and he'll kind of like, he's kind of sensing when okay, he's tired, okay, like it's like a shark
to eat him up. Yeah,
it's like a shark smelling blood. That's Spence. I feel that when Spence turns up, Crawford gonna have something for him. That's just my opinion. Like
okay.
I mean, in Spence's defense, like if I was making a case for Spence, one thing I think, even though I've seen Spence get buzzed before, he has a real good chin. I've seen him get hit clean, like look down for his mouthpiece, dudes hit him, he stumbles, still come back and stop people. So he has a great chin. So maybe what if Crawford's best shot isn't enough to put Spence down, and Spence start breaking him down, like. But at the same time, I just kind of think even if Spence took Crawford's best shot, he'd have something else in the chamber, bro. Like, I don't think it just stops with one adjustment for Crawford. So I like Crawford to win this fight. And another thing too, in regards to this fight, with Crawford, I seen Crawford switches. He fights southpaw and things like that, and he's seen southpaws. He's seen different styles. I was interested in seeing Spence fight Pacquiao because I wanted to see how Spence would look against another southpaw, and that whole thing fell through.
I want to see Pacquiao fight the both of them.
yeah. But I don't know how Spence is gonna look against Crawford against another southpaw because Crawford likes to switch up and go southpaw. So that's another thing in itself too. So I'm going with Crawford by I think I say 8th round, somewhere between 8 and 10, but I go 8th round stoppage.
Gotcha.
8th round stoppage.
Now, you know what? I'm not even mad at that assessment. And like I said, I was going back and forth with myself when I was thinking what I'm gonna say when I get on here. Mm-hmm. And I came at you with nothing else. You gotta rely on your rationale.
Yeah.
And nothing's more rational than mathematics. And the reason why I bring up mathematics because this fight's happening in Vegas, right?
Yeah.
So it's the best way for me to say this. The house always wins.
Okay.
What do I mean by that? When a gambler goes into Las Vegas and goes to what is called casinos, no matter how skilled they are at the game, the casino has that mathematical edge that in the long run, you're going down. No matter how skilled, in the long run, we're going to get you. Keep spending, you know, we're going to cop you, we're going to get you a hotel room, we're going to get you drinks, we're going to get you eventually. We just want you to keep seated. You just got to, we're going to get you. And in this situation, Crawford, he got the adjustments. Yes, he got that on his side. That's why I said that AI download Maverick style. Mm. But that size and power is what gives Spence that mathematical edge, bro. Mm-hmm. Crawford has to make one mistake, bro.
Yeah.
He can make all of it. He has to make the adjustments and at the same time not making a mistake while he's making those adjustments. He has to download just enough information to make the adjustment while at the same time not getting knocked down. And that's the danger. That's what that mathematical edge comes in.
Yeah.
And this is why I gotta give it to Spence. Spence is the house. Spence is the house. Spence, and I'm not saying it's gonna be easy. I'm not saying it's gonna be some wash. But you gotta, like I said, he has to download enough information to make those adjustments without getting hit with something too hard that he's not gonna be able to get up from. Mm-hmm. And that danger, I feel that it is. Spence might not get him in the 4th round. He might not get him in the 5th. Maybe by the 6th, it's over.
It's a wrap.
So honestly, you say 8th rounds, I'm gonna say 8th rounds too.
Okay, for Spence.
I'm gonna give it to Spence.
All right, I don't think there's any answer on this one, bro. Until fight night,
until fight night, we won't know.
There ain't no wrong answer.
But I'm gonna give it to Spence though, man. It's gonna be it's gonna be a good one. I feel.
All right, so let's transition. UFC.
So that's another fight
night. Dana White, you know what I'm saying? It gave the fans what they wanted. Brought back the BMF your belt.
I just think, honestly, these two guys, they're both former interim champions. They're both former champs.
Yeah.
There's no one else in the 155 division landscape for them to fight. They either beat everyone or they lost to Oliveira
and Khabib. Yeah.
Khabib too. But I mean, I wasn't even counting because he left. He's out. He's out of there. But there was no one else for them to fight, and I think that was the only way to add extra spice to that fight. Because you can't. Cause think about it. You can't have any one of those dudes on fight night.
On a fight night?
You can't have them on a fight. They're too big. You can't have any one of them on a fight night.
Yeah.
Not Gaethje or Dustin. You can't have them on a fight night. I feel like I can candy store this weekend. I'm getting Crawford versus Spence. I'm getting the beating belt that I want.
Yeah.
And we're gonna talk about Poirier and Rovic in a few, but that's another significant fight that I feel has to happen in that division. So
yeah, especially now with everything.
As a matter of fact, I would say this. Yeah. It's the perfect individual to give that belt to, bro.
Yeah.
Perfect individual to get that belt to because they fit the criteria. The Gaethje.
Criteria, okay.
The highlight. You know what I'm saying? His fights are phenomenal. Like all of his fights, like his whole, not just his fights, because BM is more about the fights. His whole attitude. Remember when he threw the intro best? I don't want this. He always says, "I just want extreme violence. I can't wait to break his face." Things that he would say before fights, like this, his whole demeanor. Then you have Dustin. He's another son of a gun. Like he doesn't say much, but you just feel that it's like the beatman belt goes to people you just feel who does have bad intentions when they go inside the octagon. Like some dudes, they go in there to win, but they're doing it like a GSP. I'm missing more a GSP. Like he's gonna beat you, but when he beat you, he does it like that's a nice guy. I feel like a nice guy beat him. Certain dudes they have that nice guy even when they're in the octagon. Other dudes they have that evil intentions when they fight you. Like they just don't want to fight. They want to break you. And these two fighters are those kind of fighters. And like I said, these are the kind of fighters where they both never, even they both were interim champs. They never really were the undisputed champ.
Right.
This is the way to this is another way of them becoming an actual champ. Like I always said, this was a point of I almost call them journeymen. But you kind of could call it. Would you call them journeyman even though they won the interim belt? Because even though I consider the interim belt a real title, it's not the title that you wanted.
I wouldn't call them journeymen because they're serious contenders. For a long, I think they're serious contenders now.
Bro,
that's why I
would say this.
I hesitate in saying.
But what's the definition of a journeyman though? Because my definition of journeyman
is like, I mean, it's borderline gatekeeper. Not even less than that. Because I think a journeyman is somebody who's good enough to be on the roster, but you don't have expectations for. Like, yo, we need somebody to fill in a fight. Like, nah, to me, that's a journeyman. Okay. Yeah, you need somebody to fill in. Look, we got a hole in the card. Like, he would say yes to it. Like, yeah.
But every journeyman used to be a contender, no? At some point.
I don't think that's necessarily the case. It can be the case that somebody used to be a contender and they would turn into a journeyman. Yeah, that can be the case, but I don't think that's the criteria for journeyman. That at some point in time you were a contender. I don't necessarily think that.
I think a journeyman is anyone.
I think a journeyman could have been Nothing Kajov, could have been somebody that had a good showing for a few times and that that's entertaining. I think that could be a journeyman, not necessarily a contender. I think it's the I think it's a wide. The description of journeyman is wide.
I think it's wider than your description because I think a journeyman.
Yeah.
I think a journeyman is anyone. Every journeyman's journey is different. So just so the overarching definition to me is a journeyman is someone who Cause to me, every fight in the octagon is a fight to get contention for the belt.
Right.
No matter what your ranking.
Yeah.
Every fight in the octagon, once you're no longer contender for the belt, they cut you.
Masvidal was a journeyman.
Exactly.
And caught fire. So I'm not saying that you can't. I'm saying your expectations aren't high. Like there aren't expectations from the person.
But going back to this match between these two gentlemen, this is the perfect match for bringing back the BMF belt. Especially it raises questions about the future of the 155 division, because the winner of either one of them, I feel, would get a shot at if you know, because we already know that Islam is fighting Oliveira. Especially if Islam beats Oliveira again, he's gonna have to fight the winner of one of those two guys. That's how I see it. So, I like it. I love it. I'm happy it's back. I'm happy these two guys are fighting for it. It gives it even more legitimacy to me. Yeah. Now, who I think is let me see your thoughts. Or do you want to just give our prediction?
We're gonna so my thoughts on it is similar to yours, but it that last part,
that journeyman part, you
was getting me because I was like, Dad, I'm taking this everything I was just about to say, man. Nah, that's a great analysis. My issue with the BMF belt was always criteria. It's always been that. I don't mind the belt, but you have to give me a criteria, because this is not a regular belt. So you have to tell me the criteria before. Before it was a one-off. In my eyes, I don't care what nobody say. If you carrying a title of BMF and you get knocked clean out, right now Leon Edwards is BMF to me. But that's neither here nor there. You carry a reputation.
What about Leon Edwards? Not funny here.
BMF.
Anyway, BMF.
Yeah. If you the BMF and you get knocked clean out, bro, that's no, you're not BMF. That person took it off. You clean it.
Who did he knock clean out?
Follow the tree.
Oh, you go back to
so follow the tree and knock out.
There you go again, like giving that belt. There you go again, like giving that belt.
I'm not. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
We're not doing that. We've been through down this road.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like there's still no criteria, but I feel that these two fighters. These two fighters can create a criteria. And I feel like that weight class, you got Chandler over there. You got Conor that's not far off.
It's the deepest division.
You got Conor that's not far off. These are guys that aren't champions but can fight for that belt. You got Conor, you got Chandler, you got Kobe that's at 170. Dustin, you got none of them like Kobe Covington. So between Dustin and Justin. And not to mention, like, none of them like Covington. So that's like a mix of fighters that you could have fight for the belt. And the other thing that I'm looking at Islam. He's already booked to fight Oliveira. I still think Islam has unfinished business with Volk. I think, honestly, before this whole thing is said and done, who knows how long the two of them gonna have to wait to get a title shot. So I think this is good for them to kind of keep the ball rolling and keep the thing.
Good point.
So I like that point. So I like this. I wish they would create a criteria. Just come out and say something. You know what I mean? As opposed to just having them fight it out.
Because then you got rules, and the BMF don't follow rules, bro.
No, but then it's too open to interpretation. Because to me, if you saying this disagreement we have right now, what I'm saying isn't foreign. I'm not the only one that feels this way. Like, bro, if you BMF you and people knocking you out, then who's this? If you BMF, that gotta go up every day. Every time you get in the ring, that gotta go up. Nah, you ain't BMF, and I'm not BMF today. No, you BMF every day. That's what I'm saying. You gotta have a criteria to it. That you have to have something. It doesn't have to be a whole thick as thing. You gotta come up with something, bro.
This is what I would.
You gotta come up with something. Like it's too vague. It's too vague. I'm not saying to have a whole tight. Come up with say something. Like it's too open to interpretation. I like the combatants that we have here, and it's marketing easily. Like I just said, with the guys, they could easily call each other out and say, "Oh, BMF." But I'm just saying, have something. Like, give us something, a little more to it. You know what I'm saying? Because if the BMF get in the ring and fight for the title and get knocked out, that visual, I don't care what nobody. That's there. That's a part. That imaging is a part of entertainment, bro. You can't now roll this guy out and tell me he the BMF champ when I just saw him get dropped. Nah, that's difficult. You have to say something. You have to create some kind of criteria to that. Nah, bro. That's an image. BMF is image. That's an image that people see you as. You getting knocked out, bro, and it's walking out on BMF. No, no, just don't work.
This is what I would agree with you on. I do agree with that. One of the mistakes that Dana White made with the BMF belt, that he didn't allow Miles, he didn't let Miles put it on the line more often. I felt that you was supposed, like, to make the belt more legit, you have to have the BMF put it on the line.
Yeah,
that's what I believe. So I don't.
They could have put it up against Covington.
Yeah,
you could have. I mean, if you want to get.
No, I agree with you. What I don't agree is that saying that. Because to me, if it's a real belt, then it got to be a sanctioned fight saying we officially putting the belt on the line. You can't be like, I'm the BMF, so I'm walking, because that's not giving the belt legitimacy. That means it's like saying Izzy should have lost his 185 belt when he moved to 205. To me, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying because it's not the same because it's weight division. But what I'm saying that if you want to treat the belt with that same legitimacy, you only put the belt when it's officially sanctioned for that belt to be put up. And that's the reason why I give that Izzy example, is because when Izzy moved up the weight division, it was sanctioned for him to fight for the 205 belt, not for the one, and the 185 belt was not on the line because of that sanctioned fight. So to me, the BMF belt should be treated the same way. Like when you go, it has to be sanctioned. This is for the BMF belt to give it legitimacy. That's my only thing. It should be put on the line, but it got to be official. It can't be like
Say something. That's what I'm saying. I don't. What you saying? I don't have a problem with anything you saying, but the problem is nobody's saying anything.
Now,
that's my problem. They have to create say something.
What they have to do.
No criteria. Yo, here's the BMF. And that's another reason why I feel like that was just an Ngannou slap. Like, where did that come from? Nobody was thinking about BMF, bro. They could have had this fight in main event at this without a title. They could have done that.
How often do they do that though?
It don't matter. They do things. The BMF belt in itself is a throw-in. They do it all the time. People would have bought it. They create things all the time, and people would have bought it. Would you think any less people would have bought this fight? More people probably would have bought this than the last pay-per-view.
Nah, but I think more people gonna buy it because the BMF belt is on the line.
I don't think so.
Honestly, quick question.
It adds to it, but I don't think this main event right now. We just had, the UFC's pound for pound #1 in the world just now fight. You don't think this pay-per-view without the BMF would have outsold that? We got.
I don't. Yeah, I know. I agree with you. I agree with you. But let me say this. Let me throw this out there real quick.
And then they could have put. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Do you think they were probably throwing the BMF belt to because of the fact that that the Crawford Spence fight was happening the same weekend? Maybe it's for that.
I don't think so. I think he already knew he was going up head to head. I mean, maybe it helps, but I mean,
because that's a big.
If anything, if he had an issue, the point would be to avoid that card. The point would be to really avoid it. I would say make this week a fight night, and then if he was that worried about the Crawford and Spence, he could have just made this a fight night and pushed it the next week.
I'm gonna put it on. Who do you think coming on top, man?
Yeah, this is a goodie. I would say it's a toss-up. I gotta go with Gaethje. I mean, not Gaethje. I gotta go with Poirier, man. I'm gonna go with Poirier. He won the first fight, and in the first fight, he went through adversity to win it. Those leg kicks from Dustin, and he overcame that. And I felt like that actually made him a better fighter because he started to implement those leg kicks when he fought Conor. And it showed his growth. Remember, he didn't have that in the Arsenal the first time they fought. It showed his growth. So Gaethje, I feel like Gaethje's gotten better. I don't think he's not a pushover. And you never know with the power that he does possess. But bro, I don't think he's bringing anything that Poirier hasn't seen. He's built for it. I questioned Poirier's hunger before, like going into the Oliveira fight, and after that against Chandler. Even against Chandler, he got that dog in him, bro. It ain't going nowhere. I think they both have gotten better since the last time they fought, but I don't know if Gaethje has gotten better to the point where he's gonna overcome Poirier. So I don't think he's gotten that much better. So I'll go with Poirier. Poirier by
There you go. How's it gonna go down?
Yeah, they both tough, bro. But we've seen Gaethje stop before and stop by Poirier. Stop by Poirier. So I'll go with Poirier by submission.
Ooh.
About the jujitsu again. I feel like he might stun him, daze him, and then get his back or something like
that. That's half an upset special. Like that came out the blue.
Fourth round.
Ooh, submission 4th round.
Yeah.
I agree with you 100% on everything you just said, except for how I feel Dustin's gonna win. First of all, let me add a little bit to what you said. Everything I think you said was 100% correct. Like, the irony is, during their first interaction, it was Justin who came with the leg kicks, and Dustin left for the leg kick. And when after the fight, Dustin left, and you're right, when he added to his arsenal and he took it to a whole nother level. I haven't seen Justin use it the way Dustin has. And you're right. I don't see Justin bringing anything new to the table. As a matter of fact, everyone that because the thing with it, their careers are so parallel. Like you could they have fought the same guys, and you could see how they perform against those same guys. And everyone's performances, I think Dustin came out on top. Both of them lost to Oliveira, but I think Dustin had a better fight against Oliveira. Both of them beat Chandler, but I think Dustin's dominance over Chandler was more eminent, was more significant. He stopped him. Both of them fought Khabib. What he did to Justin, like when I heard what he said, he was going to break. He was going to do one thing, but then he changed his mind in the middle of it and did another thing. That was crazy. Like he had enough time to think with Justin on that.
Yeah.
Like, as a matter of fact, the funny part is I think Justin used the leg kicks less after that, as opposed to Dustin.
Right.
Like, Dustin is more technical.
Yeah.
Justin is also adjustment. Yeah, he's more. But even if they're both boxers, I think Justin is gonna come to you with those haymaker, those trucks.
Yeah.
Dustin's gonna break you down bit by bit with technicality. It's too like. I definitely feel it's gonna be a Dustin victory, but I don't feel it's gonna be I feel it's gonna be a 5-rounder, bro. It's gonna be a ball burner. Justin is 5 rounds. It's gonna be 5 rounds.
You see either the two of them standing up to each other for 5 rounds?
I see 5. I think Justin has gotten that good. I think Justin has gotten that good over the years where he could go 5 rounds with Dustin. But I just don't feel him coming out on top. I feel it's gonna be a okay, I'm gonna say unanimous decision for Dustin.